will be over and done with. And of course, we'll be going into that big year, 2023, February 25, the first election, the big one, presidential and National Assembly. Well, before we get to that, let's deal with what is between now and then. Well, my name is Ayodeji Ajishokwe, presenting this afternoon. And of course, like the name is, Political Update. We keep you updated and fully briefed and informed on the political development, whether at the local level, whether at the state level, national, and even on the global plane. That's our mandate. And of course, especially the fact that elections are coming. Well, this afternoon, we will start out as usual with Political Roundup before we are coming to the meat of our conversation. Do stay tuned.
This is the News Roundup. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has promised to give Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi and his running mate Dati Baba Ahmed the needed support whenever he is ready to campaign in the state. Governor Wike, who is a PDP member, while announcing the plan today in Port Harcourt during the commissioning of the 9th flyover by the present administration, also advised Obi not to expect any LP state representative to win any election come 2023.
Your party, they don't have members of National Assembly running election here. They don't have anybody, so don't put your money. Focus on your own election. Party is a vehicle. As a person, you have all the criteria. You have all the characteristics that will lead this country. All I pray is for God to give you the strength, to give you the wisdom, and continue to move from one state to the other. Anytime you want to come to campaign in the state, let me know. All the logistic support will give to you.
Responding, Peter Obi promised to form an alliance with Wike to win Rivers State's vote, while also pledging to change the fortune of Nigeria to a producing nation.
I will not give an excuse. I will change Nigeria. Nigeria is not productive. Rivers State have the biggest port, the deepest part of the ocean is in Port Harcourt Ocean Terminal. That alone can give Nigeria a reasonable revenue. I've said it before, that every part of Nigeria, I will give a future. I've told you North, the vast land is our next oil. Because we cultivate it, Nigeria must feed itself. And I've told the people of the Southwest, you'll be the financial center. The East will be our manufacturing hub. We will route the East to rivers where we will export goods from. So Port Harcourt will remain the export city of this country. We will do it.
Peter Obi speaking there. Oyo North senatorial candidate of the Accord, Honorable Shina Pella, believes the bimodal voter accreditation system BVAS as one of the changes that will bring fairness in the forthcoming 2023 elections. Pella, an entrepreneur come politician, while discussing the chances of the Accord and other parties, including the statement of the chairman, Independent Electoral Commission INEC Mahmood Yakubu, on the use of technology for the election, said the development shows that the country's electoral umpire has taken a great step of instilling confidence in electorate and the candidates.
2023 is for God, because God doesn't make mistakes. God created our country with so much resources, but unfortunately these resources has failed, to come to results. And that is why we have 2023. And if you pay attention to signs and symptoms, you will see that there is already a lot of changes. One, the Electoral Act. It is the Electoral Act that gave opportunity to electronic transmission. It is through the new Electoral Act that we have more than enough time for people, to campaign. If we do not have the new Electoral Act, people of Accord will not be favored today, because we will not have enough time to campaign to the people, and it will work. So for me, I look at the positive side most. There's nothing in life that doesn't have its negative side, but for somebody that is hungry for success, you eliminate the negativity, even if it is at 99%.
Recall INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu on Wednesday reiterated that the electoral body will not reverse its decision to use bimodal voter accreditation system BVAS and the INEC result viewing portal IREV for the 2023 general election. The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Senator Iyorchia Ayu, has expressed optimism that his party will sweep the next governorship election in Lagos State. He stated this at the presentation of the PDP Special Reconciliation Committee for Lagos and Osun on Wednesday at the party headquarters in Abuja. However, the spokesman for the APC in Lagos, Mr. Sheye Oladejo, said the PDP and its national chairman could not lay claim to integrity and vision. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has held a closed-door meeting with leaders of all 18 political parties in the country concerning election security and to address electoral violence towards the 2023 general election. The meeting, which took place at the IGP Conference Hall, Force Headquarters Abuja, was convened over the recent attacks on the offices of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and other politically motivated violence happening in the country. According to reports, the chairman and presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, the national organizing secretary of the All Progressives Congress (APC), Sulaiman Aragungu, amongst others, represented their political parties at the ongoing meeting. Also in attendance include the National Commissioner of INEC, Barrister May Agbamuche Umbo, the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Ahmed Rafai, some representatives of the Nigerian Armed Forces and the Nigerian Secret Services and paramilitary agencies. That was the news roundup. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Solutions 93.9 FM is still the station, and of course, this Thursday afternoon, the show is Political Update. Well, that was the political roundup. I'm not going to dwell on that this afternoon because there's so much to talk about. I have a guest in the studio. Well, she comes with, yes, I say she comes with the quantum of political mileage, but she goes about it quietly. I'll just tell you a few things about her. She's a member, and she's actually the secretary of the Policy, Strategy and Planning Committee of the TKF, that's the Teslim Kolawole Folarin and Tinubu Campaign Organization in Oyo State. She's also a member of the Blueprint and Manifesto Committee of the gubernatorial candidate, Teslim Folarin of the APC. At the national level, she's also a member of the Tinubu Shetima Campaign Council. She's a member of the committee that deals with civil society organizations. If you date back into the era of the military, you will remember the role that the civil society organizations, active role they played in getting the military out of power. Of course, they are still in the background doing their thing. And of course, I think the Shetima Tinubu Campaign Council recognizes the import of that specific group and targeting them with this committee. Well, she will do a proper intro. My guest this afternoon, I will simply introduce her as Nike Ajagbe. You're welcome to our studio this afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Yes, I may know you even more than, far way more than I did say. You will do the intro by yourself. Who is Nike Ajagbe?
Make you show yourself, no they hide your face. Show up in the boat style, ooh, in the boat style. Cause you get to the ginger. Almost too much swagger. You they give a good vibration. Anywhere you go, you show the colors of your. Show your. Ládùn gbogbo àṣàyàn mímu aládùn bold tó wà ní aládùn ginger, olómi ọsàn, tropical àti bitter lemon. Unleash your bold. Show your colors.
Bonvita gives us strength.
Noise in class?
Auntie, Brian said that the Bonvita school competition is back. We are preparing for it.
The Bon Factor is back? Okay, let's see your preparation. Drop a beat.
That's right. The Bon Factor School Talent Competition is back with up to 6 million naira to be won. To participate, visit www.bonfactor.ng. Bonvita, strength to dream.
Oh boy, today was just stressful.
Hey, as in everywhere just choke.
You know what will be really cool right now? Hit me. Feel the vibe, live for the fun. It's cool like fun ice. Call the gang and have some more. That's cool like fun ice. With the creamy goodness, oh yeah. Be cool like fun ice.
Enjoy the taste of creamy goodness with Fun Ice. Available in vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate.
This not a taste of goodness. Golden caramel, creamy buttermint, and rich coffee. Cadbury candy there for every moment.
Introducing the Ogbonge new Cadbury Caramel, Cadbury Coffee, plus your Cadbury Buttermint Sweet where you don't enjoy tay. Now, plenty don't day to share and jolly.
Cadbury candy there for every moment.
My name na Ekele, and na accessories I dey sell. Whether na earring o, belt, even cufflinks dem, e full my shop na. But people no go buy wetin dem no dey see na. Abi, to you, I just dey flood your timeline. To me, my phone na my shop, my Airtel data na my rent.
The important things in life are powered by data. Dial *141# to choose any data plan that works for you.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Sure, you wanna feel that boost? Allow me to introduce Amber energy drink. No more shutting down, we're going up. Oh yeah, get ready, stimulate your energy. Amber now for energy. Go around tell somebody. Oh yeah, get ready, stimulate your energy. Amber now for energy. Go around tell somebody. Say, what are you waiting for? Yeah, now you can do more because Amber energy drink there for you. Amber energy drink there for you. No need to go too far, you can find it where you are because Amber energy drink there for you. Amber energy drink there for you. Amber there for you. Amber there for you.
Amber Energy Drink. Stimulate the energy in you.
Union Bank is 105. To celebrate, we're giving away another 55 million naira in our Save and Win Pali promo too. That's 105,000 naira for 50 people every month, 500,000 naira for 5 people every quarter, and 5 million naira for one lucky person at the end of the year. To stand a chance, simply save at least 10,000 naira into your Union Bank account every month. If you don't have an account, you can download the Union mobile app or visit the nearest branch to open one. Terms and conditions apply.
Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Where everything is possible. My way, nothing can hold me back. I dey go, kulele. On my way, to my next level with
máa tẹ̀síwájú jẹ́ kó rí ìrera pàdé ṣẹlẹ̀ làkàsẹ́rà má jẹ́ kí nǹkan kan dá ọ dúró.
ààrẹ májà kan ò sí ajá má parí ni òṣùwọ̀n ó tọ́kọ ọmọlúàbí orí nǹkan bínú kó sì fẹ̀hónú ẹ̀ hàn àmọ́ tá a bá ti bẹni káyà parí ẹ̀ kó tán síbẹ̀ ni o. ìdí nìyí tí èmi dókítà Fọlákẹ́ Ọ̀ṣun tá a yàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí alága ìgbìmọ̀ ìpẹ̀tùsáwọ̀ reconciliation committee ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú onítẹ̀síwájú APC níjọba ìbílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn South East àti gbogbo ìgbìmọ̀ ṣe gba ipò apẹ̀tùsáwọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ wa tí mo sì ń fàsìkò yìí dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìgbìmọ̀ adarí ẹgbẹ́ wa nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àti níjọba ìbílẹ̀ wa mo wá ń fàsìkò yìí fi tó gbogbo ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ létí wípé èmi pàápàá ti gbé ìbínú tèmi mì àyà ti ti wá bẹ́ sílẹ̀ ó ti bẹ́ sáré láti máa kàn sí gbogbo ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ tínú bí fún ìdí kan tàbí èkejì nínú ìgbìyànjú wa láti fegun òtòlótó ká gbàgbé ọ̀rọ̀ àná ká lè bá àjọ jagunmólú nínú ètò ìdìbò tó ń bọ̀ ká má jẹ́ kí ìfẹ́ ara ẹni ó borí ìfẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ o nípasẹ̀ èyí la fi lè jọ jẹun láàrin àwo ká sì fiyùn lọ́lẹ̀ fáwọn ọmọ wa tó ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn wa ọ̀la ìgbìyànjú wa àti tàwọn bàbá wa ò ní já sófo APC Progress. Dókítà Fọlá Akíọ̀ṣun Chairman Reconciliation Committee Ìbàdàn South East Local Government ló ń kéde.
Yes, thank you so much for staying with us there. Well, we have to pay the bills, and that's what we did in the last few minutes. Solutions 93.9 FM is still the station, and of course, the conversation this afternoon is with someone that I told you comes with a quantum of political mileage, but she goes about it in a very, very quiet way. I simply introduced her as Nike Ajagbe, a member of the campaign committees of the APC at the state level and at the national level. But she's going to do an intro by herself. I welcome you once again to our studio this afternoon. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Who is Nike Ajagbe? What's the question?
Nike Ajagbe is an indigene of Oyo State. Let me first start by saying that. Had my early school days here, in Oyo State, precisely Ibadan. And I had my university degrees from Ogun State University and University of Lagos. At a point in time, I was living in Lagos, expected of me, and way back as 1992, I strayed into politics after working.
Strayed?
Yes. I like to use the word strayed because that's what it was to me, circumstantial at that time. I had my early days of working before I branched out at Dunlop, Nigeria PLC then, the tire manufacturer. Before I had my encounter with late Chief MK Abiola. And I was his PA and his personal accountant then. And why I call it circumstantial is because I found myself eventually in Open 3 setup. And that was the beginning of my political journey. With MK Abiola, I'll put it like I had my fingers on all the 36 states of the Federation.
That's huge.
Yes, that was huge for my age at that time, especially in the financial sector, because I was handling his monies and all that. But I give God the glory because there was a success story for me at that time. Now, when we had after we had the June 12 incidents and everything went haywire and what have you, we set up what we called NADECO. To the glory of God, whenever I look back at NADECO to today, I tell myself, Nikki, how did you do it at that time? When NADECO was to be set up, I remember MKO calling me and asking me to come up with names from all the senatorial zones and how he wanted me to constitute it. The names I came up with were the first set of members, the founders, the founding fathers of NADECO. And the first 3 meetings, I remember, which we had in his conference room in his house, I was his first secretary. That was how involved I was in the process of NADECO. Now, everything went as when we had the June 12 crisis, blah, blah, blah. MKO went into hiding. Then when he came out, I don't want to bore us with my rules, but I tell you the truth, I was an undercover in that process. From NADECO, we graduated to PRONACO. Again, coming into PRONACO, I was chairman fundraising committee for PRONACO. PRONACO, again, was not a small process, but maybe I skipped something. During MKO's trial days, if you remember, there was an incident that happened where they got him a bailable condition.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
A
conditional bail.
Yeah. It was from Ibadan here, from Molete precisely.
Oh, my. From Molete precisely, but honestly speaking, at that time, when one considered what happened, you think it was not something worth celebrating. But I tell you the truth, that Molete that you talked about, each time I reflect on what happened at that time, I dock my car for Molete.
Yeah, and I remember the lawyer, Olani Kwekumu, we were in the same room 92 in Obafemi Awolowo. I remember very well.
Thank you very much. Now, you also remember there was a Nikki Abiola that signed the affidavit on behalf of the family. By the grace of God, that is me seated here today. But there was a lot of behind the curtain issue. Molete, as an institution then, did what he did because he wanted that process to succeed.
Expediency.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was an unrepentant lover of MKO. He gave his all. For me, even when you look at politics, when I look back at Molete, at Lead Baba Didibo, I tell myself, this man is worth celebrating in the school of politics. He was one man that got the process right. He was one man that taught the right process. Unfortunately, he was one man that was misunderstood. But you want to get it right in politics, go and look at Molete books. He did what he had to do then.
It was unfortunate. The needed result,
yes,
pragmatic result.
Unfortunately, it all went the way it went.
Well, there were other interests.
Yeah, obviously. We had Pronaco. I mean, that basically was the beginning of my journey into politics. And in 1999...
What were the lessons of the 92, 93 and all the issues that resulted from it? What lessons did I learn? Yeah, what lessons did you come away with? You know, with a person of the stature of Moshood Kashimawo Abiola.
So this, I don't think I can finish describing that man.
You know, I mean, let's just leave it at the lessons.
The lessons I learned were don't be too trusting. Now, when I say that, I'm saying it with all sense of responsibility, because the honest truth is, what went wrong with June 12 and Hope Night 3 then was not what we all assume went wrong. It wasn't more of external problems. It was more of internal problems. The external carried the lower weight. But MKO trusted those who were with him. MKO trusted the process. MKO had confidence in the people that were in it with him. But honestly speaking, there were so many people that backstabbed that process at that time.
Well, when the conversation, you know, in our conversation, you said, well, you are in politics for service. And I remember that service...
It's a call to service.
For you.
For me, yeah. And I guess it was also for him at the time. Let me give you an example. There was a day, I remember the last layer that MKO did at home. We went out, we came in at about 9 p.m. and there was a lot of crowd waiting for him. All the way to Estate Gate. And he was like, what's going on here? By the time we got into the premises, he asked, what is the problem? They said they came for the Ilea, this and that. Everybody with different problems. Okay, come let me have the list of the names. And I find the names being categorized as the way we have committees today. Students, widows, this, that. And MKO said, okay, come up with that list. And he said, Nike, how much do we have there? And I quoted for him the amount that we had. Back then, 450 million. He told me, bring that money out. And we started dividing, putting into different envelopes for different people. And we started this process around 10:30. We were on till 9 a.m. the next morning. Now, MKO did not go to bed. He sat down there with us, encouraging us, because obviously we were all tired. We were coming from one assignment or the other. So, ordinarily, we ought to go to bed. But instead, he was there just nudging us on, encouraging us, praying for us and all that, helping us. Now, by the time he finished, he now did something very significant that I can never forget. I took the empty boxes in, and I found him lying down on the floor, rolling. Now, at that time, for me, it was just rolling. But now, coming to maturity, I understood that is worship.
Yeah, worship.
So I asked him, sir, what is the meaning of this you're doing? He said, if nobody else asks, I know you will ask me. He said, you know what? I'm just thanking God for using me.
As an instrument.
Yes. If he makes the mistake of thinking I'm the richest, no, I'm not. But God just decided to use me.
You are just a conduit.
He put the resources in my hands to be able to help others. Now, that is service. So for him, coming into politics was a life of service, was giving to others, what they call to service, to humanity. And that for me is the key thing in my entrance into politics.
Yeah, you learn from the master.
Yeah.
Okay, the foundation is service. I've known you in Oyo State, real politics.
Yes.
I call it for like ever. Now you are a member of the APC, not just a member of the APC. You are deeply involved. The manifesto committee. You are involved. That's the blueprint and manifesto, and of course you are the secretary, and that's key. Policy, strategy, and planning committee. Now that's Tinubu TKF in Oyo State. What is the mandate of your committee?
The mandate of my committee is to deliver good governance to the people through both our state gubernatorial candidate and the presidential candidate. Now, I would tag both of them in my own unusual language. For me, both our gubernatorial candidate and our presidential candidates, they are products. They are coming for a government of necessity, both at the state level and at the federal level.
You put it necessity.
Yes.
Let's contextualize that.
Yeah.
Necessity at the state level and at the federal level.
Yeah.
In Oyo State, for instance.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Oyo State.
Yeah, in Oyo State, when you look around today, what can you point to that is working well? Let's take the security system, for instance. Right now, we are in a chaotic situation, which ordinarily shouldn't be. I'm seated here, even feeling ashamed that when my generation wants to talk, we tell ourselves it's our turn. We tell ourselves we're educated. We tell ourselves we're exposed. But go out there, what do you find? Are we really, really exposed? Are we really educated? Are we really meeting the expectation? The answer is no. And the current government is supposed to be led by a man who is not just educated, exposed, know what ought to be. If people are not finding rest outside, they should be able to find rest within. Oyo State today is being led by a graduate, for goodness sake. Why should we have insecurity everywhere? Why should I be in my place of work or in my home or even on the street for that matter and be panicking? Why?
Maybe it's 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years ago, the level of insecurity could have been described as high, but now I think that has been remedied relatively.
I'm so sorry to disappoint you. I don't think so. On the contrary, we're seeing politics as if it's something that is an eternity thing. When you come into office, the best of the maximum you can do is 4 years. So if I understand that when I leave office, I have another life to live, why should I make up my mind that it has to be a do or die thing? Why? For what reason? I don't need it. What I need is to give good service to the people. If I serve you diligently and righteously, I don't need to fear. If I give you the dividends of the democracy that you actually voted me in for, I don't need to be afraid. I've done my best. I'm only a tool in the hand of God. And God has an expectation concerning me, and you have an expectation concerning me. So if I do what is expected of me, I should be able to go to bed to sleep. But what do we find in Oyo State today? No. It's so bad that even common billboard, what will billboard do? Board. The billboards don't have voting power. It lies with the people. It lies with you and I. And it's the decision I make, you can influence it. The decision you make, I can influence it. I can only advise or recommend.
You're talking about destruction of billboards?
Yes. Go out there and see. All the billboards have been destroyed, particularly billboards of my party, APC. But guess what? I always tell myself something. When I become a threat to you, I expect you to react. In a polygamous home that has 2 wives, when you find a particular wife making noise all over the place, she's actually the one at fault. Check very well. So today, the one that is all over the place doing whatever you. For me, that is a sign that you actually is a weak point. It's a sign that you have accepted defeat.
Now, let's take a look at the two candidates of your party at the gubernatorial level and the presidential level.
Yeah.
Because we are challenged by time. Now, let's look at the governorship candidate.
Yeah.
He's been in the Senate, he was Senate leader, then he's back in the Senate a third time now. But there is that general perception, and I say general perception, of each person. You walk between here and Molete, or from here to Okebola, you ask 10, 15 people. The general perception is not so positive, and this perception is everything. What are your own perception of your candidate? You should know him. You know him.
All right, I'll tell you a story. With all due respect, that perception that you are talking about probably is traceable to Molete as a coined it when we started.
Yeah.
There was a negative perception
The
about
academy.
Molete. Nobody tried to understand what the academy was all about, what the man was trying to achieve, the kind of people that you have there. You know, if today you have the opportunity to go through the records of the Molete Academy, you'll be shocked at the names that you will have on your list. I don't know whether you know people like Professor Adejumo.
Oh, certainly.
Those who are Molete Academy graduates. So Molete is not all about negativity. It is what people choose to see about Molete that they saw.
And that is what is called
Now
perception.
let me hang it there. Now the person of my candidate on the state, in person of Teslim Folari. Teslim Folari is a man that is well educated. Is a graduate of UI. Is a product of Harvard. This was a man that was a civil servant under British government. That says a lot. A fool cannot work in UK, not with the government. As a civil servant, you must be a man of integrity. These are the qualities you find inside TKF. But because somehow is attributed to Molete Academy, the perception is negativity. Tell you the truth, I have worked closely with him, and I will say it anywhere, that if I ever find somebody that is well prepared for the office of a governor, in terms of intellectuality, in terms of wisdom, in terms of patience, in terms of direction, in terms of vision, and with the right mission, Teslim Folari is that person. You easily mistake his gentility and quietness for stupidity. He's not. That guy has vision. He is on a mission. And that was why he started in the last 3 times that he has spent in the Senate. He is well-rounded in legislative matters. He is well connected to the grassroots. He has the pulse of the people in his palms. That is the person that we want. Somebody that has a connection with the ordinary citizen of Oyo State. Somebody that can feel their pulse and feel what they are feeling. Not somebody that is going to get boisterous over them. Nobody that is coming to lord it over them. No. We want a leader that is like a servant. And Teslim has all those qualities. The same people that you think have the negative perception, ask them, what do you know about Teslim? Apart from this, your imaginary negative perception, which you heard, but which you never interacted with. Most of them don't know him in person. Most of them have never even encountered him. This afternoon, I was somewhere before I got here, where somebody was saying that someone told him that he never knew Teslim was educated.
Now, that is a major challenge. How is the campaign organization going to deal with that perception? Because these are some of the voters we are talking about here.
Yes. We're going to deal with it with different things. Now the campaign is about to start. You might not have been seeing much of him.
You know, I would know
Yes.
what is going on.
Yes.
I do.
Now
I
he's
do.
going to get more engaged with the people.
Okay. And the
Through
media.
different means. Yeah, the media, publicity, interactions, exercises, campaign. There'll be a lot of engagement, direct engagement with the people. And I challenge whoever still feels I can't access Teslim Please come to his place at Oluyole. Come and face him one-on-one. Tell him what you think about him, and he will tell you who he is. He's available.
Politically, how will you describe him? I will put this to you. He flawed your principle twice. Without, in 2011, he flawed a former governor.
Mm-hmm.
In 2015 again, a former governor.
Mm-hmm.
He was even out of the Senate.
Mm.
He took the party ticket.
Mm-hmm.
How does he go about that?
Right. Thank you.
And that's why he has been branded Jagba. Is it Jagba or what is it?
Now, my principal you're talking about was the person of
Alawa
Alawa Kala.
Yes, certainly.
Right. Now, you will recall that when Alawa Kala came in as governor, first as deputy governor, I wasn't even part of Oyo State. But he by himself identified me in Lagos politics and said, look, Aburo, you have this much. You don't. You are not supposed to be in Lagos State. You ought to be doing what you're doing in your own home, and that's how I found myself back home in Oyo State. Now, coming into his system too, and towards election in 2011, and you and I know what happened then. But I'll tell you the truth. I'm a graduate of both Abiola Academy and Bola Tinubu Academy combined. At the time I came to Oyo State, everything in me is Bola Tinubu Academy. So I came with some ideas that I felt this should be workable. But fortunately, I was able to see clearly that I'm coming from an extreme cosmopolitan environment to an home environment. The style is different. So I had to make sure I cultivate the style I found here. Now, going into what happened in 2011, I probably feel the way you're feeling. Who the hell is this Teslim? Why did this have to happen? Why did this have to happen? We were all bitter for one reason or the other. But we went back to the field.
You did it again in 2015.
We did it again in
He
2015.
did it again in 2015.
Now, in 2015, remember, Alawa Kala pulled out and went into Labour Party.
Yes, when it was clear he was not going to get a ticket.
And you know what? That was a major mistake. Because Labour Party that we're talking about then was a zero party. So it was not just expensive for Lao monetarily in finances. It was expensive for him in the human resources.
But the fact is that Tessie beat him to it. How?
There was no way he wouldn't have beaten him to it. Labour Party was at ground level.
Even the party nomination, Tessie
at that
was
time
able to take the nomination.
Right.
And away from Alawa Kala,
Thank you. Remember, Teslim then was in the Senate. If you remember, Teslim was in the Senate at that time.
He was no longer in Senate in 2015.
He was no longer in Senate. He wanted to contest. Was in the Senate time contesting for governor.
Yeah.
Good. Now, Teslim had a structure that was with him in that 2015. Don't also forget that Teslim was the owner of the doctrine of necessity in the National Assembly, which produced Jonathan, established Jonathan as a president. Put all this together, they worked in his favor. However, Teslim Alawa Kala, on the other hand, was dependent only on the executive arm for his success. Teslim had the two going for him in his favor. Unfortunately, it backfired. But that is not where it ended. When I came in this time around and I sat down to understand and process the man Teslim Folarin, I discovered that Teslim Folarin is a grassroots man. That's why I said political academy in Molete is worth studying. Teslim Folarin understood the architecture, political architecture of Oyo State perfectly.
And he played
it out. So when I talk about 2015, that the legislative relationship he had favored him, the executive relationship favored him, I like to also add that the political architecture, his understanding of political architecture of Oyo State through Molete Academy also was a plus.
So all this He's being branded as Jagba simply means an understanding of the political architecture and the buttons to press and get the
simply put,
results.
Yeah. When you understand where you're going, and you understand the portals there, and you understand to take care of the portals on your way, come on, you are at the end of the journey.
Master of the game.
Absolutely.
He has learned his ropes in
Absolutely.
Pragmatic politicking.
Absolutely.
You'll get the results. Now, let's talk about the presidential candidate. We're going to be doing this again, certainly. Let's talk about the presidential candidate of the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Why should it be Tinubu for Nigeria in 2020? Why should it be Tinubu in 2023? Considering the fact that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was instrumental, the promoter of the current leadership in place, and looking at the past 8 years, it's not been too smooth. Why Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Why does Nigeria require the Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
I'll start my answer by giving you one Yoruba proverb that says, Atari Ajanoku, Kisheru Omode.
Na Naija be that though.
Na Naija, go hear am. Nigeria today, come on, population of 247 million people with multifaceted ethnic dimensions, with multifaceted religious issues, with multifaceted security issues. It's not something that I will stand up by myself and say it is naked stone. That would be stupidity. Bola Tinubu is time to rule and reign and lead Nigeria, because over the years he understood Nigeria, he participated in Nigeria, he demonstrated Nigeria, and he even actualized his capacity. Go to Lagos today. We keep talking about Lagos. We keep talking about Lagos, and we keep referring to Lagos. But the honest truth is, Lagos, everything Lagos today is the brand work of Bola Tinubu. And he did so well. He did not just change the architecture of Lagos, develop the infrastructure of Lagos, he also developed the people. There is nobody around Bola Tinubu. People mention those names that are physically visible out there. There are 1,001 behind the curtain who, one way or the other, they have been made through different processes by Bola Tinubu. Now, you can imagine if now give such a person an opportunity to govern the nation. Now, you say Bola Tinubu is the one that brought this government 8 years ago.
Yes,
I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that.
That's why he's referred to as
Do you
the
also
leader
know?
of the party.
Absolutely. The leader of the party, but it is not that you people knew he was the leader. When they got to government 1 year, less than 1 year after, they told you you're only one of the leaders.
That is your own party internal affairs.
Well, now, thank God that at last you agree that is the leader. But you also know there is a proverb that says, I can take a horse to the river. I can't force the horse to drink. Yours can only take the water if he's thirsty. Now, Bola Tinubu has played his own role. He has provided the leadership. He has provided the direction. Let me shock you further. He went further to write the blueprint of what should be. It is possible if they have practiced everything he wrote then, he will probably be making the effort to be a president now. He will look at it that, oh, this has been done, this has been done.
Shouldn't he take part of the responsibility and the blame of saying, look, this is what we need in 2015? Shouldn't he take part of the blame?
He has not exonerated himself from the blame. On the contrary, he has said, we're sorry for whatever shortcoming that had been done. But I tell you the truth, with me on that seat, I will produce result. I will meet your expectation, and I will listen to your yearnings, and I will do what you want me to do. You can only do that if you are the one calling the shots. But he can't, well, if not the one calling the shot, there's not much he can do. And he has come out to say that much. My vision is my vision. People may say mission for a vision. If I'm the one that is the owner of the vision, I'm the one that will keep dreaming, keep seeing the picture. If you join me, you're only on a mission with me. Today, Tessie Folari is our gubernatorial candidate. He's the owner of the vision. The rest of us, we are on the mission with him. I can't see beyond what he can see. And I can't do more than he can do. Because he's the visionary. That's it.
Yeah. Now, you know, the presidential candidate himself in Jos says, and he said that in Jos, he said, 2023 would define or redefine Nigeria. How does it mean?
2023 will redefine Nigeria because so many things that are wrong at the moment will be corrected.
Just like that?
Absolutely. It's going to be redefined in so many things, in so many ways. Today, if you talk about security, you might not be saying the best of things. We'll have a lot of negativity being described. But what he is saying that if I come into office, I will redefine that. Go into religious matters. We'll start separating ourselves. I'm a Christian, you're a Muslim, blah, blah, blah. It never used to be like that.
That's the issue of Muslim ticket.
Not just Muslim ticket.
It remains a problem.
We are beginning to get oversensitive about our religious status. We are beginning to point accusing fingers against one another.
How much of a problem is that ticket, Muslim ticket to the party?
It's not a problem. I'll tell you that any day, any time. Muslim, real Christian was never an issue in politics. Politics is not about religion. It's about figure. It is you, when you get to office, that will now prove whether you are godly at heart and whether you're a God-fearing person by your conduct and how you impact the people.
I hear Nigerians are religious, but we are not godly.
We are not godly.
That's what I hear. They say we are religious. We do the religious rituals. We go to church. We go to mosque. We do the egungun and all the rituals. But we are not godly.
That is possible.
Now, as we round up this afternoon, of course, we've got to do this again and again before election. What will you be saying to the people out there listening and watching? What will you be saying about your presidential candidate? And what will you be saying to the people of Oyo State?
I'll say to the people of Nigeria, if you want us to redefine this country, you want us to go back to what you and I visualized Nigeria to be, what our expectations are, please vote for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man of vision, and he doesn't just dream. He's a man that actualizes his dream. He's a good listener. He's available. He's a man that conceives a greater future, and as he's conceiving it, he's birthing it. That future that you and I are looking for, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will deliver it. Let us join hands together and bring him into office by voting APC during the presidential election, and by the grace of God, you and I will be alive to enjoy the dividends of democracy and to live in the Nigeria of our expectation. And coming to Oyo State, my people of Oyo State can be sweet. Oyo State is blessed. We have land, we have resources, we have mineral resources, we have agricultural resources, we have human resources, we have financial resources. What we have been lacking is good leadership. My people, come gubernatorial election next year 2023, vote Teslim Kolawole Folari of APC as your governor. As soon as he gets to office, your enjoyment have started. The new Oyo State don't break. The greater tomorrow of Oyo State don't break. The necessity or the governance of necessity that you and I are looking for don't break. And if you have more expectation, come to me. Hold me responsible.
Now,
we shall not disappoint you. Thank you.
This is a game, electoral game. Let's take a look at the umpire as we round up as the final shot.
Yeah.
The umpire and the rules of the game. Are you hopeful that it will deliver a free and fair election?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. If you don't intend to deliver free and fair election, there'll be no reason to put all the technology in place. The technology in place today, the buffers, it wasn't there some 4 years ago, and they have used it for 2 previous elections now.
Ekiti and Osun.
Yeah. So why are we fearing?
You believe?
Oh yes, I believe, and that is why we too have improved on our strategies.
Oh really?
The kind of campaign we are running now in the history of Nigeria, have you ever seen anything like that? We just start. You will hear when.
Yeah. On that note, I'd like to thank my guest. This afternoon, we're talking about the political landscape. And of course, we've been updating you. And of course, she's been talking as a stalwart of the APC. Talking about the gubernatorial candidates in Oyo State, Teslim Kolawole Folari. And of course, the presidential candidate of the APC too, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, I guess has been the secretary of the Committee on Policy Strategy and Planning of the Tinubu Folari Campaign Council in Oyo State. She's also a member of the Blueprint and Manifesto Committee of the Teslim Folari Campaign Committee. And of course, at the national level, she's a member of the Civil Society Organizations Committee of the Tinubu Shetima Campaign Council. I simply call her Nike Aichagbe. Well, it's been an interesting and engaging one here this afternoon. I look forward to having you on other engagements here on radio as the processes unfold. Thank you so much.
Thank
God
you for
bless
having
you.
me.
God bless. How are you?
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye for now.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.